some people just come to read a book, you know, some just to kind of check in and say, oh, what are you growing? You know, people are curious. People come from all over the world because, you know, there's a little map of all the gardens. And so we're on that map. So people go, oh, I'm from Amsterdam, and I heard about your garden, and what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, you know, well, this is what we're doing right now, you know. They're like, oh, well, we're doing a tour of all the gardens. And I'm like, fantastic. Where are you going next, you know? Oh, La Plaza. Oh, that's a good one, you know. Yeah. And I'm starting to kind of reach out to the other gardens, like La Plaza for sure, because Ross has just been so, again, welcoming. You know, he and I work on a lot of stuff over there, and that's all the gardens are very unique. They all have like the old school crew, and then they got the new passionate people, and it's like there's a balance between that, and I really love that. You know, some gardens I don't even feel welcome in, and some like they're like, oh, you're El Jardin del Paraiso. Oh yeah, I know your treehouse or whatever. You know, so it's interesting to say the least. I see this garden as probably one of the most consistent gardens, and I'm not just, you know, bragging about our garden. It's like we have the same people here that have always been here. You know, we still have, you know, Puerto Ricans and Dominican Republics playing like dominoes, you know, in the casita, you know, and then we've got like the Waldorf school coming in, and then we've got people from the projects coming over. We're the closest one to the projects. So it's like, and we've always been extremely welcome to everyone. No one's ever been excluded from here. I think some of the other gardens are getting more and more, in a sense, conservative and trying to like restrict the flow of people. But I know that this one has been really great, you know, very welcoming. And, you know, that's, I don't know, gentrification's like, I don't know, it's, what can you do? You know, it's the East Village. It's like, you got apartments that are like going for $7 million now, where you couldn't even get a cab past First, let alone A, B, no one would make it to C, you know, and now you can buy an apartment between C and D for $7 million. What the heck, you know? That's a little crazy, but it's New York City, you know, it's a little island in the middle of the world, you know. The kids will like wander over there and they're playing dominoes and they're like, hey, what are you guys up to? They're like, you know, they're like so welcoming. They're the only ones that really barbecue here and cook food. They'll cook food for everyone. They'll make like I'm a vegetarian, but they'll make like chicken soup for like 25 people at a time. You know, and it's like anyone off the street. Oh, you want some chicken soup? We just made it. You know, it's like they're so giving and so kind. It's like, I don't know when, you know, and, you know, and they're also protective because they know what they have here, what we have here, you know, is so rare. I mean, I didn't even know there were this many community gardens when I moved here. I was like, oh, maybe there's like some place I can go and plant, you know. I've always had a garden since I was a child. And so this is like the way I like keep my sanity, you know. And then we're all best friends. We all hang out all the time. We like, there can be some barriers, but not with me and not with them. It's like we're family now. They all come to my daughter's birthday parties, and I go to their kids' birthday parties. You know,
that's so
like,
cool.
We're family. I mean, I know so many people that come to New York and just think like, oh, it's just all concrete. It's just mayhem. Crime is everywhere. You know, we have such a bad rap. But it's like, then they come here and they're like, this is like a little piece of forest in the middle of New York City, you know, and it's just an acre. You know, you go to Central Park, there's 980 acres. You know, you go to Prospect Park, or you go to the Botanic Garden in Bronx or in Brooklyn. I mean, these are museums of beauty and wood and nature. And it's like, I think people just, you know, forget or don't realize that there is great, you know, sources of nature in New York. You just have to like pursue it and look for it. And it's becoming a really cool thing because it's like, it's free tourism. It's like, no one charges you to come into a garden. It's just like, come on in and enjoy it. Really? Oh yeah, you want some raspberries? Here you go. It's like, you want some mulberries? Yeah, no one eats mulberries anymore. It's like, they're delicious. No, I think that they're surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised. Like, oh wow, I'm gonna tell my friends when they come. I mean, people from all over the world. It's like, I've met people from Argentina here, and Chile, Costa Rica, definitely, like Holland, Germany, France, Italy, Norway, Sweden. These are all people, like, they kind of look in and I'm like, come on in, it's okay, it's open, and then they get a really good feeling, and then they go eat a nice lunch somewhere and they have a good experience. It's like, just because there's that whole like nature deprivation that happens, and so a lot of what I'm trying to do is reach out to all the schools and set up, like, when I'm in town, I set up, like a local school will come, like say the second graders or the third graders or whatever, and they'll come and they'll spend like 2 hours here. They'll have lunch, I'll show them around the garden, I'll educate them about what's going on, and all of the board members do that. All of us
That's
are
great.
really active. Like, we love it. We want to promote it.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, really great because, there was a kid last year. I said, "Oh, what do you think that is?" And he's like, "That's a plastic peach." And I said, "No, that's a real peach." He goes, "Really?" I go, "Why don't you grab it and take a bite?" And he's like, "No." And I go, "Come on, man." So he grabs the peach, he chomps into it, and he's just like, it's like the best thing he'd ever eaten in his whole life. And I was like, "Yeah, let me tell you about all the vegetables you could be eating here." Like my daughter's 8. She knows every single vegetable that's edible here. She just goes around and just like eats her own lunch. She's like making her own salad, and that's great.